Hello and welcome to today's Wild Hearthstone deck tech and gameplay video on what is basically a Draenei aggro warrior. Oh, hi sweetheart. Draenei warrior is basically exactly what you would think, with the Dark Beyond adding the Draenei creature type, as well as, I guess you could call it Draenei support. There happen to be enough Draenei, both from the new set and their payoffs, as well as some of the older Draenei, and even ones that you wouldn't think would be great, like, even like a Amalgam of the Deep. Although, if we're being honest, the deck is mostly the new ones, since it is a new list. But yeah, we play Draenei, buffing future Draenei we play, going all along the curve, just trying to develop a board and applying pressure. All of this working towards eventually, besides the occasional just, winning the game by bonking your opponent with your various Draenei. We do have some top-end threats to get us over the finish line at the end. But the big exciting one is Velen, Leader of the Exiled, which, as you can see, that has Taunt and Death Rattle. When it dies, we get all the battle cries and death rattles we've triggered from our other Draenei, which will, if not, how do I word this? The death rattle triggering won't usually be the thing that gets you over the top. All of the battle cries and death rattles will be what does it when you play the next Draenei, whatever it happens to be. Say when you have the next Draenei attack, random enemies a couple times, or let's see, what's the other one? There we are. Or say if you get, attack value equal to the attack of the next Draenei you play or whatever. Basically, if you get an Unyielding Vindicator or an Expedition Sergeant, if you get those battle cries a couple of times, can almost be enough to close out a game in that moment by itself. Beyond all of our just Draenei cards, there is some okay glue. Things like Tidal Revenant and Draconic Delicacy with All You Can Eat. All of these were sort of concessions to be made, since we can oftentimes... How do I word this? Basically, there isn't enough Draenei to, really pad out all the turns and be able to, reliably hit a Draenei every turn. So the top end here was basically just more creature types so that we could run an all-you-can-eat, and the fact that they help to interact with the board and can buy you time, or even with the Tidal Revenant, be the thing that goes over the top and ends a game, is a nice little bit of bonus. Anywho, that's all for the deck tech. Don't forget to like the video if you like it. Subscribe if you like my grab bag of content and would like to see more in the future. And if you have any sort of questions, like I don't have X, what about Y? The only things that aren't really flexible is you need Velen. Without Velen, I don't think there's enough Draenei, as well as enough good Draenei to really make it work. But if you don't have Draconic Delicacies or whatever, you can change some of the glue cards to sort of what's the word? Match your collection. So don't get too married on the glue cards, but the Draenei cards are kind of required if we're going to be honest. Anywho, with all that out of the way, we'll go on now to game number 1. And game number 1 with our little Draenei warrior. Let's see, we'll throw back the Vigilant. Anchorman's fine, I guess. That's fine. Most warriors that you'll run into are some, Odin armor control warrior thing. And if that's the case, we can be in trouble. They can, in theory, just gain so much armor that even our, big, scary Velen into big, explodey Draenei turn can be really underwhelming when they have a functionally infinite amount of armor. And we'll play the Great Mace, but we're going to save it till we draw more. Don't like having to take off turns, but there are just certain material, realities though you sort of have to face. The Great Mace is only good if you actually, you know, buff Draenei. Shocking as that might be. That's better. We're getting there. Let's see what we draw. We might just play Vigilant just to get an extra Starlight Wanderer. Since we're going to have to start trying to apply some pressure. If our opponent doesn't just... Oh, okay. Maybe it's a mirror matchup. Does that change... Does that change my thought process? Not really. In that case, actually, we can play an Amalgam. Get another Draenei. Sure. Then I guess we can do the Vigilant to get an extra copy of that. Now that it's almost certainly a mirror matchup, we can be a little more controlling here. And just try and go for the big, scary Velen into a monstrous Draenei turn to sort of close out the game. Since there's no reason you would run the commander without running a sufficient amount of Draenei. But it's nice to see... It's nice to see somebody else also having a similar idea. Although this is the first one that I have... The first mirror matchup that I have run into in the couple weeks of testing. But hey, we'll take what we can get. Yeah, we'll trade here. Buffer board. Play a Stone Maul. Go ahead and... Oh, I might have order-lulled myself. Yeah, I should have played this first, got the Frenzy, draw the card, draw the Expedition Sergeant, and then attack with a weapon. That was a goof on my part. I don't think it's going to matter, for being honest. We're in a pretty good spot. Only thing we have to do is try not to overcommit to a board, since there's an opportunity, not an opportunity, a chance that they could also be running a, like a sweeper or a brawl. Or, what's the armor sweeper thing that costs 10 mana? I think it's Shield Shatter. Maybe if they're running enough armor. If our opponent's here. Oh, come on, opponent. This game is going good. I very much want to use this footage. Any secondo. Well, while we're waiting, I guess we can sit here and try and figure out our next play. We could do an Expedition Sergeant, not immediately into an Avenger, but setting up the Avenger to go face if they don't come back. Oh, there we go. That one's a little weird, but okay. Yeah. Play still remains the same. Play the Sergeant. What do we... Meh. Honestly, so they don't gain a lot of... or too much life from the lifesteal, where it's just gonna trade into the one... and then... or trade into it... not trade into it. Do 1 damage into it and then execute it. It's not a trade, Max. It's not what the term means. Yeah. Basically, we barely hit the brute enough to turn on and execute. I don't know why my brain is melting. I apologize. Let's see what our opponent does. Does that trigger how I think it triggers? Because I don't own this card, the Stalwart Avenger, and I'm in a good spot dust-wise that I have to, like, potentially, you know, make an entirely new list, so I'm not going out of my way to use it all. But yeah, but by all accounts, I think this works how I think it works. I mean, I'm not going to be able to see it now, but, like, it's fine. It is immune, but okay, so it does work. That makes this card better, but I still don't think it's great. Reason why we did do that in that order is so that the 11 attack would go to their opponent's face and not a 4 attack. We're just trying to squeeze out the most damage possible since we're already in a pretty commanding spot on the board and we're not overcommitting into too much removal. We are threatening lethal, but it's warrior. They gain armor. They have some control tools. So I'd be very surprised if the what's it called? If the lethal remains present. Hi, goofball. You leaving? Go hang out? Yeah. Okay. Love you. I mean, okay. If we first off, our opponent did show that, you know, they'll come back if they get to a rope. But even if they don't come back and they rope out like this and I win, I'll go ahead and keep this game in since I was already threatening lethal anyway. Another card I don't own, but I when I discover it, I like the card. If you have Exarch Akama, go ahead and run him. I think he's actually okay in this list. I just don't own him. Anywho, going face. Honestly, though, like, pretty good showing for the list. And it was against a mirror matchup, so Draenei Warrior was going to win anyway. But anywho, with all that, and that also was, even if you removed, like, the haha in a mirror matchup, the deck always wins kind of thing. That is like a pretty common occurrence even when you aren't running into a mirror matchup of how the deck is sort of supposed to work and how it can win. Though granted, it's not like fantastic, seeing how this is the first set with Draenei, so I imagine in the future if we get more Draenei, the deck will only get better. Anywho, on now to game number 2. And game number 2 with our little Draenei Warrior list. None of these are... We'll keep the Vindicator because it's an okay card. But we would like things to do earlier on. Hunter doesn't really have that many popular decks right now. So odds are we'll be okay. The only exception is I haven't run into this during testing, but I would imagine Defend the Dwarven District... what's the word? Hunter would likely be a little bit rough for this match, or our list, but again, haven't really seen it in testing, so yeah. Let's see, the only forged card that really sees play is that Discover a Secret Forge do 2 times thing, so I'm gonna assume that's what I'm seeing. Probably play the Crimson Commander ourselves this turn, so we can just buff a sufficiently large handful of Draenei. Huh. Okay. What is their list? I mean, I'm down. Plan remains the same. Play a commander. Go face. What is their list? I don't know if Hunter has like an all spells kind of payoff thing. I mean, I was right. It is the Titan Forged Traps. That's the only real forged card that sees play in Hunter. If they don't attack with the snakes, I only have one option, and I'm not gonna go face. Attack with a stranded spaceman in case it's like a misdirect. That way it won't kill the commander necessarily. There's a Leok. Okay, how does that change our game plan here? Honestly, that's not the worst idea. So we could do an all-you-can-eat. Cat trick, okay. Then we can do a Starlight Wanderer, which should get buffed, but it's not really going to matter that much. Sorry, the Starlight Wanderer will buff, not... It has a buff. Okay, luckily we don't have to worry that much about that. We're honestly pretty happy with this. We don't mind playing the commander again just for more buffs on our board. We have a lot. How many? One... Well, it'll be less than one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Getting our mileage out of the buffs here. Or do we do the cheaper one? Because that'll be 3. So go down to 2. So we should... So we'll actually do the cheaper of the commanders. So we could play Captain's Log. Or, well, I could... Hang on. That's not going to be the most efficient way to do that, is it? I actually think we need to do the more expensive one, and since we're almost full on cards anyway, we really can't draw. Now, which one is this one? Warrior Tourist, at the end of your turn, get a 2/3 Crocolisk. Death Rattle, give all minions in your hand +2/+3. The stats of a Crocolisk. You're running so many not creature cards in your hand to be running a thing that wants to buff creatures. Like the Barrel of Monkeys, the get all the animal companions thing. I'm almost certain that he played the 2/1/1 stealth snake thing like Raw Dog. The deck is all over the place. It's not the most exciting, but I think we're just gonna go for a brawl here. We're in a kind of dangerous spot that we don't love. We would love if we win this, but even if we don't, yeah. Oh my god, we won. Hell yeah. Well, that drastically changes things. Also, next turn, if we need to, we can always coin out a Tidal Revenant blah, blah, to help stabilize our life total. Though I don't know if they'd be able to... I mean, I know Hunter can really threaten our life total out of nowhere. I don't know if this Hunter can. That's cool. That is a Rye Cleaver. Big Scary Misha, which is cool. I think we are going to coin out the Revenant here. Just do what we can to stabilize our life total. Go ahead and trade. Which one is that? Yeah, okay, the Death Rattle is the sandwich. Then you have to play the sandwich for like 2 or 3 mana or something like that. I've seen this online. I've never seen this card run in person ever. It's a cute card. Still, I mean, it's like not... Sure, it's not bad. It hasn't happened to, like... What's the word? What's the word I'm thinking of? To catch on in Wild. I'm certain there is some sort of shenanigans you can do with it, though. Hi, Kaimo. Want to come hang out with me? Yeah, your sister's over there in the window. Yeah. Are we alive? I feel alive. See what we draw. Gonna save this for a Velen turn. So I think we'll do a Sergeant into a Vindicator. See where this attack goes. Hang on, we just die. That's annoying that we just die. Was there... Hang on. But 10... Yeah, I'm very dumb. Okay. I was so obsessed with trying to get the most Velen value that I just died because I didn't play the Velen. So... if you play this at home and you have a Velen, don't... And I've been guilty of this before in some of the testing games that you didn't see. I have been guilty of trying to get so much Velen value that I didn't just play a good enough Velen, if that makes sense. It was very much a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush kind of things, and I was always like, two in the bush, please, hit me up. Alright, opponent. I'm being polite and holding back a sneeze. There we go. Which one's that one? That's interesting. Okay, they're being a little BM about it. Yeah. I think we might have been in trouble regardless, and that's okay. Like, who knows how that game would have worked. But, again, use this game as a reminder of a bird in the hand is in fact worth two in the bush, and in the case of a perfectly fine Velen, just play an okay Velen and live, as opposed to die and never get to play the other Velen. Still, though, deck is a lot of fun. I would imagine that I'll come back to this list if we get, like, a sufficient amount of, like, cool new Draenei, and if we get more Draenei payoffs, maybe in the mini set, possibly, then I'll almost certainly come back to that then also. But still, fun list. I'd very much recommend you play it if you have a hankering for remotely aggressive tribal decks, then this is a good one. Do I think it's going to be the next #1 deck in the world? No, but I think you can do some good work with it and have a lot of fun. And really, if we can't do that, then what are we doing? Anywho, again, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video if you like it, sub if you like me, and if you have any questions that are nice and or constructive, I'll do what I can to respond to what I see. And remember, I'm pulling for you. We're all in this together.